turn now, I'll save you here, to our GMA cover story. Teen vaping use is soaring, so much so that the Surgeon General has declared it an epidemic. And making matters even worse, there are very few treatment options available to help teens kick the habit. Nightline anchor Juju Chang joins us with more on this. Good morning, Juju.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, guys. And you know, it is a bitter irony that the device that's supposed to help adults kick the nicotine habit has now hooked countless teenagers. Just about every parent I know is worried, and with good reason. Research shows that teenagers' brains can get addicted easier, and getting them off can be trickier.
Luca Kynard is a typical 15-year-old, just trying to fit in. But sometimes fitting in isn't the smartest route.
I saw people using Juuls, whether it be at social gatherings or at school, and that's when I really started to pick up on juuling.
Luca says experimenting morphed into vaping a pod a day, the equivalent of a pack of cigarettes. Mango and menthol, his favorites.
When I was going out to eat, instead of going to eat, I'd go to the place to eat, and instead I'd save my money to go smoke.
His mother, Kelly, says the honor roll student's grades faltered. His mood darkened.
He's always had a wonderful, vibrant, happy personality, and that changed pretty much overnight. One day he was great, and the next day he was a totally different person.
Luca was among the 1.3 million teens who vape in a year. Just this week, the Surgeon General declaring e-cigarette use an epidemic among young people. All the more troubling because studies show a teen's still developing brain leaves them more vulnerable to addiction.
And something that's really different that we hadn't seen before is kids coming in just for problems with Juuls. That's pretty new for us.
The Wall Street Journal also found that doctors across the country are struggling to help teens fight their e-cigarette addictions.
What I discovered is that there aren't many treatment options. There are not many things that parents know about how to deal with this.
Dr. Sharon Levy is director of Adolescent Substance Use and Addiction Program at Boston's Children's Hospital.
Our call volume this year is about 6 times higher than it was same time last year.
She says treating a child's addiction is not one size fits all.
When we see kids coming in who are juuling and having trouble quitting, the first line that we usually offer them is nicotine replacement, and that in itself is really not usually enough. Kids also typically need counseling to help them get past the withdrawal and the cravings.
But for Luca, the answer to fixing his addiction issues came in the form of a 39-day treatment facility with group counseling and relapse prevention.
Before treatment, my view of the world was that it's me versus the world, and that I had to carry the world's weight on my shoulders. But now I don't feel like that at all. I feel so much support by family and friends. It's a great feeling.
Now, Lucas tells us that he is no longer vaping, and Mom says she's just happy to have her son back. Now, Juul, the e-cigarette maker, has taken steps to eliminate those enticing flavors for kids, and they're working with federal authorities. They told us in a statement, underage use of Juul is completely unacceptable to us and runs counter to our mission, which is, of course, helping eliminate addiction. Cecilia?
Okay, Juju, thank you. Let's bring in our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton. We have been talking about this story all week because so many parents of teens are concerned about this. Let's talk about the teenage brain and how vaping affects it. Are teens more susceptible to addiction?
Absolutely they are, and we have to talk about basic anatomy and physiology here. When they inhale that nicotine, which the majority of these e-cigs contain, sometimes in much higher concentrated doses than a regular cigarette, it goes into the bloodstream, it floods the brain. The part of the brain we're particularly concerned with is called the prefrontal cortex, and that's the part that's responsible for decision-making, emotions, impulse control. It is not fully mature until the mid-20s. So when you talk about those tasks, the executive functioning, as we like to call it, teens are already struggling with those things. Nicotine makes it worse, and this can exacerbate mental health issues like depression, anxiety, anger. This is a big deal.
So you don't come home smelling like smoke. They're hard to spot sometimes, these e-cigarettes.
Right.
They look like a variety of different things. How can parents tell if their child is addicted?
Well, I think the issue is that you have to look for the same signs and symptoms of nicotine addiction as we would think about looking for in an adult who's trying to quit regular cigarettes. Restlessness, irritability, behavior seeking out nicotine or these vaping devices, and a change in mood, concentration, academic performance. These are really significant, and we have to see this from the child or teen's perspective. Their developmental task at baseline is to take risks, to challenge authority, and to fit in. All three of those things stack the deck and really make a perfect storm for their using these devices more and more, and that's why we see these staggering numbers.
You see those signs in your child. What do you do? Is there anything you can do to stop this?
That's the point of this, is that this is uncharted territory. There are no clear addiction protocols for teens for these e-cigs. So the first step has to be talk to their pediatrician. Unfortunately, then you have to seek out substance abuse programs no differently than you would if you were talking about a teen addicted to opioids, and talk to your teenagers about these devices without judgment. We have to see this from their perspective. The more as parents we get worked up, what is a teenager going to do? Say, you say black, I say white, I'm going to do it more. So we have to engage them on their level and make them understand that this is a serious problem, and fear strategy, fear tactic is not going to work with a teenager.
Such valuable information, can help so many people. Thanks, Jen.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.